Hi, loves. I felt so called to share the message that you deserve love and safety, all in one package, all at the same time. You deserve love and protection and to have the healthiest of all relationships. And I felt so called to share this today, as the title says. I got pushed by my partner out of the blue a long while ago, and that mirrored me getting hit by my dad when I was younger out of the blue, and I needed to heal that trauma and those wounds that originated with my relationship with my dad and the issues with that I had with him at the time. And I wasn't on speaking terms and hadn't spoken to him for years at the point where this had happened in my relationship. So I felt so strongly called to share this, and I was like, okay, well, I can just make a little post about intuition for ladies to follow their intuition and trust their intuition for safety. And I posted that, and then I felt really called to share more. And I'm really, creator, really, spirit, I know that I totally signed up to serve women on a huge, massive scale this year and just show up for whoever needs my messages that are coming through me exactly when they need it. I get that I totally signed up for that, but really, I have to share this message now, right now, are you sure? And then I was at a bra shop, and I've been in bra shops before. I have triple D's, and it's really hard to fit bras. So I've been in bra shops before and just see nothing. But in this particular one, it had in the change room domestic abuse posters with contact information on the bottom. You know how you can rip it off? There's all these ones with the contact information, and you just rip it off. And there was so many of them missing. So a lot of women who were at that bra shop would have been dealing with domestic abuse. And I was like, okay, cool. This message needs to get out. And then later when I was watching an interview of Dax Shepard, Kristen Bell's husband, on YouTube, it started talking about how Dax's mom was abused and had domestic abuse. So I'm like, okay, universe, I need to talk about my instances and channel some healing energy for whoever's out there right now who is unfortunately going through this or needs support or needs to hear my story or my message or whatever channel healing downloads I'm going to do for this. And hey, everyone popping on live. Hi, Ross and Sherry and Marie and Jess and Lillian, Leilene, Lillian, am I saying that right? If you want to say sounds like this, if I'm saying it wrong, I never want to say anyone's name wrong, so that's why I'm going to always ask. So please tell me if I ever say your name wrong. So yeah, those big signs of my intuition telling me to talk about it, and then seeing that was okay, I need to talk about this then. So when it had happened with my dad, it was when I was a teenager, and I was learning how to drive, and he wanted to teach me how to drive, and he was by no means fun to learn how to drive with. He'd yell at me and tell me the million and two ways that I was fucking up, and wouldn't tell me what to do ahead of time, this is your your first time driving, when you're starting to approach turns, slow down to around this amount, instead of I took a turn fast and then freaking out at me that I took the turn way too fast and I could have killed myself and someone else because someone was standing there, and all the different ways to die. And I faint, so the only time that I ever stood up to my dad was when he was telling me in such graphic detail of how people die in car accidents and how seatbelts can slice you and all these terrible graphic things about death, where I'm if you keep telling me this, I'm going to pass out. I'm going to faint from this. I can't, you can't say this to me right now. I'm going to pass out and we will for sure get in a car accident because you're telling me this in such detail that I'm getting sick and I'm going to pass out. So I had a lot of driving lessons where it was terrible and not fun, and I felt like I was a terrible driver and that I was going to hurt the car or scratch the car or turn and kill someone, and had a bunch of really bad experiences with that. So one morning he wanted me to go in like the busy time, like traffic time, like, and I felt so uncomfortable, and he was telling me like the route that he wanted me to take, and I'm like, but I'm not good at taking left turns yet, like it's a big truck, like I'm not comfortable doing that. I don't really know where the line is, and like what if there's a car or like something happening and like I hurt us or the car or something, or like a passenger, or like someone standing idly by, like what if I like kill them? And I'm like in a ton of fear and anxiety about driving. So like I'm like, I don't feel comfortable doing this. Like, can we just do it at 6 in the morning like we have been until I'm like taking things good, and then I'll like go when there's people. Anyway, so he didn't like that I said no to him, and he like hit me like across the back, and I like cried because it hurt, and like went inside, and there was like a big red mark on my back, and I just like cried because this had happened. And it, like he wasn't like talking to me, like I was just saying like I wasn't comfortable with doing it and like explaining, and like there wasn't like an escalation in his anger, or like there wasn't any signs that like I was triggering him, but apparently I triggered him and he lashed out. So that kind of mirrored my experience with my boyfriend at the time, when, and like I've kind of said in other videos, like I used to be like super controlling, and like I wanted to know plans, and there had to be like a schedule, and like I had to really go into my feminine energy to just be like, yeah, let's free flow and like not have a plan for the day, and just like go on a random date or a random hike and like figure stuff out, to like start building trust in that area of my life, and knowing that like things always work out for me and all these different things. And like I wouldn't be like, oh, there's this idea, let's immediately go do it and go on an adventure and stuff like that. Those were all things that were very outside my comfort zone, and I was like growing and building at that time in my life. So to that point where this had happened, this was like the most outgoing thing I'd ever gone. There was a concert that I saw about on Facebook, and it was going to be free, and like a friend was telling me about these things, so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, okay. So I went to my boyfriend at the time and was like, so there's this concert that we both love, the people who are gonna play, and I was like super excited, and I'm like, if we leave right now, we have enough time to drive to it, like all these awesome things, and like we'll like figure out a hotel on the way, and let's just go. And he was like, what's happening right now? He's like, really? Like we can like hell yes. He's like, I don't know when you're ever gonna be this adventurous ever, so like I definitely want to like support it. So he's like, yes, like this is awesome, like this would be like a me thing to do, yes, let's do it. So I was super excited, and like threw all of my stuff in a bag, like we had no time to get ready, we just like went on the road, and I'm like, cool, let's go. So when I got there, it was like a big concert, and there was like gonna be rain, and it was outside, so like there was rain forecasted, and like I hadn't like planned it, and like I'm so anal that like if I know that there's gonna be like a downpour, I'll put like a plastic baggie in my purse in case I need to like wrap my phone or like electronics in a plastic bag, because like my purse has gotten wet before, and like I'm like, oh, if I had like my phone in there, it would have hurt my phone. So like I get very anal about like or I used to, I'm not that bad anymore, but I was like, okay, well, I like didn't bring a little purse, and I don't want to like have all this stuff on me, and I don't want my phone to get wet if it rains, so I like left all my stuff in his car, and we locked it, and then we like walked however many minutes to the place where the concert was going to be. And yeah, I think I had like maybe $20 on me, like in case I wanted to like buy some water or like snacks. And hi Joyce, I hope you're having a good morning. I felt like so called to share this message. Like I had a nap on Saturday and I guess that kind of like screwed up my sleeping routine, and then I'm like, I really need to share this message, and I like felt super called to share the message, and then I'm like, okay, well how about if I like write it out? Will that be good enough? And I can like fall asleep, and that wasn't good enough. I could still like, it was like, I'm feeling super, super called to share this. That means that someone needed it, so that's why I'm on here at 4 in the morning. Yeah, so at the concert, enjoying, good morning. enjoying like a new experience in the music, and I didn't realize the anxiety that was in my partner at the time, and like he seemed like he was enjoying the like music, like he really wanted to get there in time. We totally sped. Not like super crazy, but like we got there just in time for the one that he really, really wanted to see. And like that one, like it was okay. Like I wasn't in love with him, but I'm like, okay, so we like got here super fast to enjoy this one, and now you're like on your phone, and I'm just kind of like looking at this music, and like I'm kind of like swaying to it and stuff, but like I thought that you were gonna like be a little bit more present and stuff like that. And he like acted all super happy when he was taking pictures with me to like send to friends to be like, look at the concert that we're at. And then he got like pictures from his friends being like, look at what we're doing, and like anyway, so then I was getting kind of annoyed that he wasn't being present with me, and that we were acting happier on a picture or on like little videos and stuff that he was sending out to the rest of the world. That we were like acting happier, which is so inauthentic to me, and I hate inauthenticity so much. So like I was like, I'm not gonna do another picture or video of us acting like we're more happy than we are. I'm like, I don't like when people do that. I'm like, it feels gross. I'm not gonna do that. So then I like continued to like watch the concert, and we were also on like the drinking side of the concert because that was like closer up to the front versus like the dry side, and I kind of had wanted to go on the dry side, and I'm not super like, I don't drink, like I was unpopular most of my life, so like I wasn't really ever around drunk people, and like that kind of makes me uncomfortable. So I was like slightly uncomfortable that he was busy on his phone and I was just like around some drunk people and stuff, and I would just like look at this guy who was doing another song that like I don't know any of the lyrics to, and like I'm just like, okay, like this wasn't really what I thought this was gonna be. Like my expectations of what this was gonna be isn't really here, and like you're just messaging the people who are telling you that they're not gonna come here to the concert to be with us. Like, why can't you just be present with me? So I didn't realize his triggers and what was happening in his head, but because we have had a very like open communication and like healing each other's stuff, and like this is a limiting belief and things. Anyway, I said something and I can't even remember what I said, but I said it like in his ear, because you have to talk in people's ears when there's super loud music and you're at a big concert. So like I said like one sentence to him, and it wasn't like in a super mean tone. I'm just like, you might want to look at something about like what you want your reality to be, because like we were acting happier, like something like what you want your reality to be versus what it is, or something like that. And like I just wanted him to be present. I like said something along that lines, and then I was like, okay, I said that I want him to be present with me. Like I said the thing, I'm going to choose happiness, like, because I'm always choosing happiness, and just be like, okay, pay attention to this guy and like let's have a better time. And turned away from him, and then like got shoved forward, and like I didn't realize what just happened, and I turned and realized that he was the one who pushed me so hard that it shoved me forward, and now my back is hurting. And when I realized that he was the one who like pushed me hard, I like was fuming mad. I never experienced that in my entire life of like, what the fuck? And immediately my head was like, you have nothing. Like, you don't have your cell phone, you don't have your credit cards, like you have $20 and you're in a whole different province and you know no one around you, and you fucked yourself. So like all of my limiting beliefs of like, this is why we need to be controlling. Like, you don't have the fucking hotel booked. Like, you have nowhere to go. You have no friends around. Like, you put yourself in a dangerous, fucked up situation, and now this happened. So that's why like everything in life's not safe. And I was just like, all of this running through my head, and I just like was shocked that it happened. Like, I just didn't say anything to him, and I'm like, anyway. So then we just kind of like were there in silence for a while, And like in my head I'm like, okay, well, like who looks like kind of nice people are in here? Like maybe I could like borrow someone's like phone, or like my mind went to like a million and two things of like what I could do to like make myself safe or like get out of the situation. And like I was just like, every situation is terrible. Like every like like going up to strangers and asking for help, like in the drunk section where like there are likely a lot of people who are also like taking drugs and stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck did I just do? Like I'm so fucked right now. Anyway, so that was really terrible. And then the like most safe logical thing in my brain was go into your therapist mode and help him, because he'll have to get to a better place and like he'll have to calm down in order for me to like go back to the car and get my stuff, at least, or like ask to get the keys to go back to the car to get my stuff, or like something like that. So I went and like shoved down all of my emotions about what had just happened to me so that I could like put it in a box and not like be angry about it. And then I was like, okay, like what's happening? How can I help you? Did healings, did the stuff to like make him better. And then I'm like, okay. So then kind of had a better understanding about like why he was anxious and what had triggered him, about the external people not joining us, and like his old wounds that were being triggered by like what was happening on his phone, and then me not wanting to make it seem happier, and we weren't having as happy of a time as he had expected, and all these things. So then I kind of blamed myself for why I got shoved, which was very unhealthy. And like that was also like part of why I had fallen in love with him too. Like he was like, I'm very, physical touch is like the top of my thing. So like on our first date when he like touched the small of my back, like I felt very safe and nurtured and protected, and that's like exactly where he hurt me. So like my back hurt in that exact spot, and I'm like on just so many levels I was like trying to deal with my own stuff while also trying to like make him okay and better. So I was like, okay. Anyway, so after a while we kind of were just like, okay, well, like let's just like put that behind us and enjoy the show, because like we did travel pretty far to get there and all that. So then when the concert piece that like we really wanted to come to see, when that performance had happened, and then we were gonna go home, because like we hadn't booked a hotel and it was a super popular time, so anything we were checking in the area was like booked up. So we're like, okay, well I guess we're gonna have to drive X hours home now. So I was like, okay. And then like on the drive home, like this was summer. Hey, I saw your comment asking for a channeled message. Can I PM you, please? Well, while I'm live, I don't think I'll see your message. Like, while I'm live, I only see like one line of a sentence. So if you have like one specific thing that you want to get healed, be like, this happened, or like trauma around this, like I'm gonna do a lot of healing downloads around like what I had to heal, and then also what I'm getting from whoever needed this message. So if you put your PM and like the top sentence is like this, and this, then I can include it in the healing that I'm gonna do. If that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, long story short, even though it was summer, there was like a storm and it like hailed. In the summer, like I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So we couldn't drive the full way home because we were driving so fucking slow. And then again, because of the storm, at the different places that we like stopped nearby to like try to find a hotel, there was an airport that we were going nearby and their flights were grounded because of the storm, and they had sold out like so many hotels. So like we kept calling, like I kept calling hotels as he was driving, and like all the hotels were sold out, and it was just like, I'm just like, what the fuck happened? Like why is everything bad happening? Anyway, finally got a hotel, and then when we were like safe and away from the place and we were like finally like alone and not driving, I was like, okay, like I had to immediately go into a space to help you. Like I pushed down all of my feelings, like I don't feel safe with you, I don't trust you, like that was fucked up that you did that to me. And then like you didn't say sorry, and I just took all this time and attention to like make you feel better, and you haven't checked in with me and like all the stuff. And he like felt bad about it, but he's like, but this is what happened, and like he was blaming me and I was at a point where I was blaming me. And eventually we're just like, okay, let's just go to bed. And like I slept in a totally different bed, and I'm one hair strand away from breaking up with you. Like I can't even believe that this happened. Like in my mind the world's black and white, and I had seen my mom in an abusive relationship, and I was like, that's never gonna happen to me, and like if anyone ever touches me, I'm immediately breaking up with them. And like just so many of like my core beliefs were like crushing inside of me of like, oh my god, and like I can't believe that now I'm a person that got hit, like all of these things. Anyway, so I was doing a lot of healings and stuff on me. So yeah, I haven't seen a PM come in, but I'll maybe do some more healing downloads and things. Anyway, so I'm gonna use higher power for the downloads, but you guys can substitute in your head God, creator, source energy, the universe, whatever your higher being is. Do you want to release and let go any shame, guilt, resentment, trauma, cell trauma, emotional wounds, and attachments you have to being a victim, being abused, being hit, being emotionally abused, being sexually abused, and that you know through your higher power that you deserve to be released of all of that negative energy and junk and baggage completely on all levels. And if you would like that, you can say yes. Do you want to cut the cords, contracts, commitments, bonds, vows, obligations, and blood oaths that you have to an abuser, to someone who hurt you, to someone disrespectful, to a current or previous partner, to a family member, a friend, or a stranger who hurt you, who abused you, who took advantage of you, and caused you pain on any level? And if you would like to clear that completely on all levels and resolve it on a history level, you can say yes. And you want to forgive yourself and release yourself of any blame, guilt, shame, anger, and guilt around any situations or circumstances that happened to you in your life. And if you would like that, you can say yes. And you want to release and let go of any hatred, rage, anger, frustration, pissed off energy, and resentment you have to whoever abused you or hurt you or caused you pain, and forgive them completely on all levels to move you forward to the present moment so you can live your life without their energy in your life, without any cords or attachments to them, and knowing that you're forgiving them for yourself, so you're not going to drink the poison or relive the memories in your head that would only hurt you and not them. So it's like you're forgiving them for yourself, so that you're not drinking the poison hoping it's hurting them, so that you're no longer doing this damage to yourself. And if you'd like that, you can say yes. And you want to know through your higher power that you deserve to be loved, safe, honored, and protected in all areas of your life always, and that you know that it's your birthright and completely possible on all levels, and that you're deserving and worthy of a healthy relationship, of being treated respectfully, of being in a safe space, and that you can receive unconditional love from yourself and from your higher power. And if you would like that, you can say yes. And water's really good for energy work, guys. Do you want to clear any and all weight, pressure, responsibility, and burdens that you felt around carrying secrets, around labels that you've given yourself, around being a victim or abused or like that girl or anything like that, that you can clear those completely on all levels, and you can release and let go of any belief systems that don't serve you around the world being black and white, and around any old belief systems that you witnessed from your parents or on TV or that were told to you around how girls should act, what women should do, what you should put up with, how you should act around men, that you deserved it, any of that bullshit, that you can clear that completely on all levels and release it now. And if you'd like that, you can say yes. And you want to know through your higher power, your identity as unconditionally loved, safe at all times in your life, and that you're always watched over, protected, and kept safe, that you can trust your intuition, and that you can move in inspired action to the life that you truly deserve to be living, towards safety, towards leaving a relationship, towards entering a safe space for support, towards getting external help or resources or counseling, and that you can draw on the strength, courage, grace, and love that you need from your higher power during this time. And if you'd like that, you can say yes. And do you want to release and let go of the judgments that you have on yourself or that others have shared with you when you did speak your truth? If you want that, you can say yes. And then we can integrate those changes so I can offer you a general healing for anything else that's ready to be healed in your body right now, and fill you up with your higher powers, unconditional love, compassion, joy, and happiness. If you'd like that, you can say yes. And then you guys can take a couple deep cleansing breaths if you want to shut your eyes and really kind of feel into what shifted in your body, anything that you're sensing. If you're getting any tingles or you're feeling any specific body parts, just breathe through it, take some deep breaths. If you need to like on your exhale, you can do that as well. Whatever you need to do to like release this. If you're crying, that's good. Releasing is good. I do a lot of crying later because I didn't cry or really deal with it in the moments, and I had a bunch of suppressed stuff that I had to work on, and I was crying later. So just take some deep breaths. I'm going to send some more unconditional love to anyone else who needs it. Just breathing through anything. And I got a message, but not from the person who was writing. So if you are catching the replay of this and you have any specific areas that you want me to clear on, I'm feeling a lot lighter, and that like that's what was needed for right now. I was also kind of thinking I could talk about like the aftermath of that, but maybe that'll be another video. So yeah, if this is resonating with you and supporting you, I encourage you to invite other friends to this group so that they can get the support and downloads that they need around anything happening in their life. So it's a private group. women can only get in here if they ask to join. But if you feel like it would help them, you can also just like pull it out on your cell phone and let them watch it. Totally up to you guys on however you want to do that. So I hope you guys have an awesome night, and I'm sending you guys so much love. Bye.